Sister Kalika. So
Yes.
one of the common questions, I'm a group 4 guru, that parents and students bring up is that the communication bridge between the parents and the child, it seems to have been broken. Parents in many cases realize this in group 4, and they're saying, I don't know what happened, but every time I talk to my kid, the kid rolls their eyes. And the children in class go, you know what, I can never talk to my parents. They don't understand anything I have to say. So as an educator and in a child psychology specialist, how do you, how would you go about addressing this question in terms of how can we provide support and guidance to the parents and the children?
Yeah, I think, sometimes parents tend to kind of put their limitations on the child. And sometimes, a lot of our parents they were raised in another country, so they're still having that mindset too. So there's a whole bunch of variables to that. But I really think that, first of all, my wish is that question, I hope they're young, parents that have young children avoid that, right? But here we are, you have a group of children that say this. I think it's really important for the children for the parents to really sit them down and have a discussion. And you'll hear me say this again, on Saturday, and those discussions cannot happen in the house. When you want to talk to your teenager, you have to take your teenager to a public place, to like a Starbucks or someplace, and have a serious conversation. Because what happens is the rolling of the eyes, the tones, and the sounds are really extreme when you do it at the house, because that's your safe place. But I would say you as a teacher, I would really approach those parents individually, because it may not be all the children, it may be some, and the whole group may be chiming in. I don't know, because they have that herd instinct too, of like, oh yeah, and it's not really happening with them. So I would say as a teacher, I would talk, directly with those students, and then talk to those parents and say, you really need to, because you don't want to lose the child by not communicating. That's when you lose the child. But there's tips in how to ask the child the question. And one of the things I tell parents is there shouldn't be a lot of eye contact, especially with teenagers. Especially when you want to talk about something serious, you might just want to have them on the side and talk. Sometimes, a car ride is good because they can't jump out of the car. They're locked in the car and you're driving and talking about it. There's several tips, but because it's very intimidating for young, for teenagers to talk face to face with their parents. They don't want to look at their face sometimes if they really want to talk about something really serious. So, but like for you, Brother Pavan, your son, for example, I'll take him, for example, this is the time to start talking very directly with him and giving him the time and the space and talk, listening to him and saying, explain to me, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you explain to me? I'm trying to understand. All those kind of words matter, and sometimes I think when a child is not talking is because they've lost the trust from the parents, because they've made them feel kind of belittled in some ways, like, oh, don't worry about it, you're just a teenager. All of those things, they hold it. So I have a slide about, like, if your child is talking like this, is because you did this. If your child is doing this, it's because you probably did this. So I have a little bit of a slide on that too. Hopefully that'll help. There has to be a trust that's built up, from a very young age. So, we always have to tread very carefully too, because, there's a trust that you're trying to create with your child and the child is trying to create with you. Yes.